So we'll create the default some other way. So let's create it in the model, in the user service server. In the model, where is it? Where are you, model? When we create the user, we'll say user.roles equal faculty. So when we save it, it'll be faculty. So let's restart and let's verify that indeed that is working. And so let's go back and register, and we'll register Charlie. Register. I think we can remove all these breakpoints. And let's go to Mongo and see that the role is still not roles. It's roles, not role. Okay, let's so let's change this. The name of the schema. Schema should be roles. And let's try it again. Restart. Go back. And this will be PO and PO, register. Okay, there we go. So we have roles, faculty. All right. All right. Excellent. Let's move on. So let's implement login now. Well, before we do that, let's first let's see. Wait a minute. Implement login strategy. Okay, we're done with register, right? Register. Okay. All right. Now let's do login first. Let's do login. And so let's go back to the user service. The user service on the client, user service client, there it is. We implemented register, but login is empty. So let's keep going there. We'll just copy this. And here what we're doing is that we're gonna generate a post just like we did with register. We're going to pass in the credential just like we did with register. But in this case, we're going to pass in our options with credentials true. Okay, that means that that I am passing you sensitive information. Okay, so this is not the server coming back to us with sensitive, but we are passing something in the cookie is of importance, right? It's so there's some attention to it that needs to be. Oops. Wait, what happened? What did you? Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know you could collapse from the keyboard. I didn't know that. So we're going to pass in the option saying that we're passing some sensitive information that needs to be parsed out and decrypted on the server side, and hopefully we'll come back with an actual user object as part of the response. This doesn't work yet. We need to create on the client side. We need a component that actually provides a form for us to fill out. So let's do that. Let's create a component over here. Where are we? Let's go down to source and app and component, and let's create here. Let's generate a component called login component, and we should declare that in our paths, in our routing, so that we can navigate there. So let's add here a new route that will allow us to navigate to our brand new login component. Login component. That it's loaded, it found it, and there it is. Let's see if we can navigate to a login. Make sure that we can navigate there. So this will be login. So that didn't work. Oh no, we're going in the wrong. It's 4200, right? 4200 login. Okay, login works. Profile works. okay, and register works, right? Okay, so those 3 pages are up and running. So anyway, in the login, what we're going to do is we're going to nope, that's not it. Where are we? We're going to create a component that is going to call that user service, is going to pass a username and password. It's very, very similar to the register, right? So in the login component, we're going to have same thing. We're going to have a username and password that are going to be mapped to a form on the HTML, and then we're going to encapsulate that in a we're going to pass it to a login function, which will encapsulate it into credentials and actually log us in. Copy. My copy paste is not feeling well here. Let's load all these libraries, all these services. User service. We'll also need the router. Private router is of type router. And finally, we'll need the shared service. Shared service. There we go. And finally, we need an HTML that can kick off this function. We need where you can fill in the username and password and click on login. So let's do that. Let's copy that and let's go in the template. And here it is. And let's just substitute there. And this will invoke the login function on that component. All right. So let's see. Now we're ready to try it out. Where are you? Oh, I have 2 of these, don't I? Let's go to a login here. And there it is, right? So we can try and log in now. So let's log in with Po and Po. This is going to, it didn't generate anything. Oh, there it is. It generated the post. There it is. There's the post. See that? But there's nobody on the server that's listening to this, right? So we need to go to a server and listen for an incoming post. So let's go on to the server side. And let's, well, here we go. We have a login, but there's no function that handles it. There it is. That login function is not doing anything. For now, let's echo back whatever the response, whatever the request has, right? So let's send back whatever the request says, whatever the body in the request, just to test that this is working. Let's try this again. Let's refresh here, and let's kill this here, and let's send in Po and Po. Let's log in, and notice that indeed it's echoing back what we sent it. Po and Po. We sent it, and it's echoing it back. So what we really need to do is bring in Passport. It says, hey, Passport, I want you to look up this person from the database to see if this is a valid user. So let's do that. So to do that, we're going to need a couple of functions in the model to be able to retrieve users using their credential. And it's just going to find a user by username and password. So let's, there it is, right? It's going to just find one where the username and password matches. Okay? And from the service, we're going to use that new model, right, to use it from the local strategy to find the user, right? We're gonna configure Passport and load it. I think we did this already. Did we load Passport in the user service? We did. Yeah, we have Passport. There it is. Let's configure its local strategy. It's right here. And what we're going to do is that we're going to use the username and password that comes in from the client, and we're going to look them up in the database. Right? So let's do that. It's we're going to put there. We're going to use the user model find by credential we just wrote. Right? No. Copy. I don't know why my copy is not working. There it is. Which is just going to use the find user by credential we just wrote. It's going to look it up. If it matches, it's going to make it the current user, and then otherwise it'll send back a 403 saying unauthorized. Sorry, couldn't find it. And on the client side, if we do get a successful login, what we'd like to be able to do is navigate to the profile, right? Navigate to the profile, right? All right, so let's try it out. Let's start the server. Let's see if this blows up. Let's see if we missed anything here. Oh yeah, we do need to configure and tell Passport that it needs to intercept. Yes. Where? Ooh, thank you. Good catch. Probably want to fix it here too, no? Oh, we have username. So this is that username and password. Yeah, I didn't have enough space here for that. Username equals user. Okay, I think it's good now, right? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Good catch. So let's restart that. All right. So one more thing that we need to do is tell Passport that with this post that's coming in from the client, we need it to intercept it, right? And we want it to handle it. With the local strategy, right? And look up the user from the database. All right. Okay. So our login function just becomes trivial because it's not really doing anything. It's just sending back the currently logged in user, right? If it makes it here. Right, so let's restart. Let's go back to login. And if we go to PO and we log in, it goes to profile, right? Otherwise, let's see what would we have done? The login component. Notice that it's blindly going to the profile, right? Ideally, it would actually check to see if the user is a valid user, right? If it's not null, or if we got some other error, right? Notice that it's not navigating. It's not navigating since it comes back with an error. It comes back with a. Oh wait, where is it? Is it stuck somewhere? Okay, we never responded if it was invalid, but we'll handle that in the next when we're protecting the profile page. Okay. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's see what's happening. Notice what comes back from the client is the first thing that it checks to see is deserializing. It looks for this username and password. Notice that it did not find the user. It didn't find the user. Oh, okay, so it came back as null, so we probably want to handle that, right? If it's user and if there's a user, if there's a valid user and its username and password match. So we'll restart that. Let's try it again. Okay. All right, so notice it's coming back as the false, right? That came back as 4.1 as an unauthorized. See that came back as unauthorized from the server. Okay, and it didn't take us to the profile, right? All right, so we can now that we have login, the shared service really its usefulness is that once we have the shared service, we can store information in there, and then in the profile, right, when we're registering or when we're logging in, then in the profile we can use the shared service to display information about that currently logged in user in the profile without actually going back to the server for this information. We already got it from the server, and we're storing it locally on the client. So on the profile component, where are we? Profile component. Do Do we not have the profile component here? No. Let's load the profile component. We can use the shared service by injecting it here. So private shared service, shared service. To actually pull in that information from the shared service. So we can have here user as an empty object for now. We can retrieve the shared user service in the ng init, and this user service, right, will be able to extract it because it was put in there by either the register or the login component, right, and we can extract it from there. We'll need the activated service here, so private activated route, so it's activated route. And once we have that user in the profile, we can display h1 profile, things such as welcome, and then the user.username. Okay, I'm not sure why it's complaining. Username should be in there. And so if we go down to the profile for PO, it says welcome PO, right? Because that has that information in the shared service. Okay. All right, we'll do log out in a minute. Let's take a break, and we'll come back right after this.